Jake, tell me you're out there somewhere. Tell me you're out there somewhere.
What's going on? Welcome, everybody. I'm just sharing this out on all our broadcasts. Give me 1 second. What's going on, Rich?
It's jury duty today. Had jury duty.
Oh, boy.
Seeing that justice is done.
Anybody we know?
No, actually, I don't know. This was just the going in and the swearing in. Actually, we go back tomorrow morning, Superior Court. And because it's like right after Thanksgiving, he told us, he says, listen, he said, for anybody who's thinking about getting a deferral out of this, he said, we have one case. And he said, so 14 of you are going to be picked. He said the other 30 some odd people are going to be gone. So
wow,
take our chances. Mixed feelings about whether or not, I mean, it doesn't affect me one way or the other as far as work goes to be there or not. But yeah, you know, it's a day in the life. So
nice.
Interesting.
So I'm checking on chat right now, and we got Rocky and Dr. B. Welcome over on YouTube. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Hey, guys.
You guys can share this out. Share this out. What do you got, Rich?
Yeah, well, hey, one thing I wanted to say, that Rocky had commented on the W8 video that I put, the LG W8, which, by the way, guys, that video is pretty cool. If you've never seen a TV that's this thin, I mean, it is actually stuck to the wall. And I remember Rocky had mentioned that he was going to wait, because I was kidding about wait for a year and technology gets cheaper. You could buy this $7,000 TV for 450 bucks. He said he'll wait for that. He's scared it's going to come off the wall. One thing that wasn't in the video, glad he mentioned that, it has a magnetic strip up at the top of the TV that actually it's just magnetized to the wall, and then you have like a adhesive tape on the bottom that just sticks the bottom to the wall. So yeah, this thing is super light and really has not
for
much
those of you who don't know, Rich did a review on this ridiculous TV. The thing is like what, a 1/4 inch thick that goes on the wall?
Yeah, I mean, it's between a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. I mean,
and it
is
is
nothing at all.
Unbelievably beautiful HD. You got to go check out the review on YouTube. 1600 Reasons Why. No, that it's 1600 Reasons Why, but it is on Vantage Point.
Right, it's on Vantage Point. Yes,
so
it's a
casual, great job.
Yeah, it's a casual. I mean, we don't have spectrum analyzers hooked up to it and all that stuff, but cool review nonetheless. Welcome,
San Juan Clara. Welcome on Periscope, and for those of you watching on stream.me, what's going on? Also, welcome replay viewers for later. We seem to get a lot more replay viewers than we actually do get live viewers, which is kind of strange.
Right.
Probably the shadow ban thing.
That's okay. We keep our group, you know, small and tight. Small and tight.
That's right. That's right. I like it. I like it. This way we can keep up with chat, because sometimes I do broadcasts, especially a Trump rally, and there's like a million chats, and some people yell at me, Jake never reads the chat. I'm like, I'm trying. I'm a one-man show here. That's on Total News Network.
Right.
Fortunately, I have Rich to do all the computer stuff and everything, so it's awesome.
Yeah, blame me. So, yeah.
Exactly. So anything that goes wrong tonight, I just disclose who runs the show.
That's right. So, did you save your wishbone? Did you save your wishbone from?
Oh no, actually, I didn't make a turkey. I actually just did like steak and shrimp. I had turkey the day before, so. Did you save your wishbone? I didn't know. Yeah,
right there, right there. Wow. I can't do it. The kids have to do it. I'm just letting it dry out. But yeah, saved it. And just as a correction for anybody who watched the last video, no, my grandmom did not do chickens with stuffing. That was a turkey. I accidentally said that she stuffed the chicken.
That's right. Last show we were talking about what's your favorite side dish. And that was funny. Rich had said his grandma's stuffing when it comes out of the chicken. Yeah. So it's funny what we see when we watch the show back. It is so funny. You know, live TV.
Yeah,
you gotta love it.
God rest her soul. She was probably turning in her grave.
She's like, chicken? I never stuffed a chicken. So anyway, but speaking of Trump, a good segue here. He's obviously having some rallies right now in, what is it, Minnesota? No. Wait, where's he having the rallies? Now I forget.
No.
Mississippi,
that's right.
And he already did 2. I think he's going to do his 3rd one. So we're up against the president. Sorry, President Trump, if you're watching. I hardly doubt that. We didn't mean to step on your rally there.
Yeah, I didn't want to step on your airtime or anything,
but he's trying to get Cindy Hyde Smith elected. Obviously, you guys know, and maybe some of you don't. She made news about a comment she made saying that she would show up for the public hanging if they had one, which didn't go over well. Obviously, she didn't mean that. She apologized. The problem is that the person she's running against happens to be African American.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of when DeSantis said, don't come here with your socialism and monkey up the place. You know, sometimes these people really need to think before they open their mouth, you know, Rich?
Yes, me too, many times.
Yeah, we definitely, I have put my foot in my mouth and it doesn't taste very good. What else we got on the agenda?
Well, I mean, one thing got real quick. This is the latest Bitcoin report. Yeah, down to 38.15. If you made your money, get it. Buy on the dips and wait for the pop. But yeah, that poor, it's getting beat up to death. Where's my leg?
Wow, yeah.
I got my
and see
leg.
Our disclaimer about investment advice from us. You know.
Well, I think. Well, buy on the dips, I think, is always a safe bet.
Oh yeah, well that's
man. I was gonna bring out the Ledger Nano. Now I can't even find it. God knows.
Yes,
well,
the prospectus.
Yeah.
Always read the prospectus.
Exactly.
It's funny because they have to use words in the prospectus like we anticipate to have a great quarter. You know, they use very specific words when they do give reports. It's funny.
Yes, and then
forward-looking statements, right?
Yeah, forward-looking statements. Talking about forward-looking, here we go. This has been plastered all over the news. I know everyone's seen it about the tear gas and this poor child with this wiffle ball.
Oh, no.
You know, I just wish they would show the face of the mother, because if anybody is truly at fault here, would it not be the mother who had the child anywhere near the situation before it was stable and non-volatile? Absolutely. Why would you take your child into that sort of situation? Is beyond me. And man, I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, they put the poster child out there. Everybody feels bad for the child, and everybody should feel bad for the child. But what are you supposed to do? I mean, these people, I don't know if you saw the rest of the video where they're trying to push through the gates and they're trying to clamber over the walls. You know, there has to be some sort of pushback going on. And when they got pushed back through the gates, they started throwing the rocks. And you start throwing the rocks, and then what's going to happen? So like I said, this mother should have been nowhere near. There should be, you know, half mile back until things get sorted out, organized in whatever fashion they're going to. You don't bring a child up. I mean,
absolutely.
And what really irritates me is that truly deep down inside, my internal thought is this. They care so much about themselves. They're using a child as a human shield, assuming that there won't be any type of attack on the child or on them, as long as they hold this child in front of them. And to me, that's criminal.
Well, that's what they did when they were trying to go from the southern border into Mexico. There was reports they put the women and children in the front, and all the guys went around the side, knowing that the police are going to have a problem pushing back against, you know, kids and women. Now, I've covered several protests, and a lot of my viewers that watch me on Total News Network know we see people, mothers bringing their kids to these protests, knowing that Antifa's there and stuff. Right. And all of my viewers are always like, why would you do that? As a parent, bring your kid to something like this? Like, come on, man.
Right. Why would you do that?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, chat's a little bit behind us, so a quick couple things here. Miss Trouble 26 was asking how much Bitcoin was at its highest. It was right at around 20 grand. And,
wow.
And then its mother is in the same picture where she is holding two. Yeah, that's the exact same one. So, yeah, Rocky was saying that is same picture where she's holding two kids. So, yeah, not only do you bring one kid, but two kids. And, yeah, how asinine is that? Hate to, you know.
Well, and they get their talking points, as we discussed many times on this show, in the morning. So they all use the same picture, the same talking points to come out, you know, and they're still going with the, oh, how dangerous is this caravan? It's just poor people that are miles away. Now we're seeing them throw rocks.
Oh, they're at the border. Yeah,
the border. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, they're in Tijuana, so they're up in our face. But yeah, what else we got? We got old Khashoggi.
Oh, what's the update on Khashoggi, the man that was hacked up over there in Saudi Arabia?
Well, it's staggering new news that the prince had something to do with that. I really, you know.
No way.
Did anybody suspect that? I don't know.
Hold the presses.
But now, obviously, Lindsey Graham may punish Saudi Arabia for the murder. Trump stresses that Khashoggi was not an American citizen. And so Yeah. What do you do? Is this the first time that an ally has committed atrocities? And
Absolutely.
and so what do you do with Saudi Arabia at this point? I mean, you gave them a pass on 15 hijackers that flew planes
Right.
into the World Trade Center. I
Right.
mean, what do you think Khashoggi's life is worth to the administration? I don't think very much.
No.
You had that missionary that got that was just killed in India in that remote island. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The guy was saying that he was a missionary, but some are saying that he really wasn't a missionary. And I don't know. There's like a lot of stuff going on with that.
I can't see how he wasn't a missionary because the island that he was going to was forbidden by law to go because these people were so primitive. They basically used bow and arrows to kill the guy and drag his body around the beach. I mean, and the reason why you're not supposed to go out there is because they have such little immunity to disease that it could wipe out their. It's weird.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's almost like a more primitive version of the Aborigine, which used to be primitive. I'm not calling them now, but yeah.
Right.
So,
Well, there was an
anyway.
update today, something about the police tried to move in or do an investigation and they were ran off by them. So that's a whole crazy thing. But back to the thing you were talking about, getting in bed, not physically, but getting in bed with these allies. China constantly kills people.
Right.
Saudi Arabia, Russia. I mean, it's sad that we're in a position where we have to make deals with these people in this crazy world. We have to actually make deals with people that we know are out and out murderers. And the Secretary of State said, it's a cruel, cruel world out there. So
I mean, they're gonna have their posture. They'll throw a couple this, that, and the other. In the end, nothing's gonna come of this. So
no,
yeah.
no, and for what? We're gonna ruin a relationship with Saudi Arabia for Turkey?
Well,
You know what I mean? Which
yeah.
is exactly what Turkey wants. And then what? Iran gets even more and more powerful? I mean, no.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I try to keep it in perspective and reminding myself that these people hate us. I don't care which ones you're talking about; they hate us.
Oh, yeah.
You talk about convenience. That is all we are to them. We trade and we're convenient, but in the end, if they had our druthers, they would fry the American infidels if they could get away with it. If we weren't worth as much as we are to them. Santa Juan Clara said, must be a reward waiting if the immigrants get across the border. Not only our tax dollars, Soros. So yeah, maybe he's out there with some $100 bills, first ones to get across, win the prize. I don't know, but it does.
It does look like Mexico's listening to President Trump when he says, "Listen, I'll tear up that deal." After NAFTA, he made the new deal with Mexico. I'll tear that thing right up, and I'll close the border. And they're like, you know what? This guy's crazy enough to do that. We better stop these people.
Yeah.
And it's about time a president is actually forcing Mexico to do something about this.
Oh, it's definitely a economic catastrophe to the Mexican president's administration if that border gets closed, given how much normal traffic is coming across there on a daily basis. He'd have some big troubles on his hands if the border actually did get closed for a prolonged period of time.
Absolutely. Now we got GM closing down factories and pulling out, and it's so sad. But anybody that follows the stock market, to watch GM stock actually go up because they're like, oh, they're going to move and it's going to be cheaper labor and all that. Meanwhile, the other side of it is people are losing their jobs and stuff. So I don't know what's actually you could probably solve this. GM, stop making crap cars.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, I mean, in the end, them and Ford basically are selling trucks and some SUVs. I mean, really, the cars just are not that huge a seller.
No.
It's sad to say. And I don't know what brings that back. I don't know. It's just their design's not there. Longevity's not there. I know that now they're going to stop making the hybrid electric cars that are part engine, part electric. They're going to start phasing those out because those are not selling. It's either going to be a fully combustion engine driven, or it's going to be fully electric, and that's going to be what goes on. But yeah, this is there has to be some sort of tax incentive that they got that maybe they have to give back for closing the plants. I mean, that actually would have been a good idea to throw that as part of a timeline. Hey, you get X amount of these tax credits, going forward for as long as you're producing here and making stuff here. So,
Well, I just hope we don't try what France tried. And Macron, what a jerk that guy is. That mom jeans. He wears mom jeans and he drinks a lot of soy. He raised a tax, over there in France to try to deter people from driving, gasoline cars and phase them out. And look how that worked out. You seen the riots? I don't know if you've seen any of them.
Yeah.
They were out of control.
Yeah, France has, they're still dealing with the dregs of socialism that they had, the whole Labor Party, all that stuff. And yeah, these people, they're not giving up anything. They don't practice austerity. They're not giving up their technology. So, yeah.
No, somebody did the math and turned it into gallons, and they pay like $6 or more for a gallon of diesel, and they're thinking about raising it even more. Like, you're killing these people.
Yeah, I mean, at what point well, we can get into the whole socialist thing. Yeah, how much do you take away before?
Right.
Well, I'm glad to see them as active as they are, speaking out against their government, because,
right.
Yeah, because we don't do that as a general rule. Maybe we should, but yeah, I guess.
But not with violence and not destroying property.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. GM is restructuring to produce to climb into that car. I just think of all the hacking. I think of all the electronic issues, the glitches in cars nowadays. Man, I can't.
Oh, absolutely. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can't imagine the grid going down and massive amounts of these cars failing at one time, especially since they're such GPS driven, the sensors on these things. So, yeah.
Right. I don't mind getting on the trolley at Disney World knowing it's, driverless or whatever. But when you're talking about me cranking down the road at like 80 miles an hour, knowing there's hackers out there that could just say, oh, here's a good time to just smash him into the pole. Watch this.
Yeah.
And then put it on YouTube.
Yeah. And here's and here's the other thing. And the biggest problem they're going to have with self-driving autonomous vehicles is the fact that they cannot make a moral decision. And someone brought up a great point one time. They said, if the car knows that it's going to crash because there's no way to avoid it, it cannot make a moral conscious decision whether or not to hit 2 old people or hit 5 children. It doesn't have the ability to make that moral judgment, and as long as it can't, they'll never be as smart as we are. So
yeah, I don't blame you on that one. One thing I wanted to cover, and I had wrote it down here. What is it here? Let me get my glasses. Can't even read my writing. Chicken scratch. Oh, the memes. Okay, so apparently a little bit ago, Jack Dorsey on Twitter put out a tweet asking people if there's any apps out there that could read text on a picture and then turn it into actual text. Right. And I was like, is this Jack Dorsey trying to read memes and then turn it into text where the algorithms can pick it up and then actually shadow ban you or shut your page down? Is that what he's actually doing now? Because a lot of people were using memes because the algorithms can't pick it up. Like if you type something out, the algorithms can read it, but they couldn't pick up memes. So is this him trying to figure out now a way to go around that? This guy is relentless, man.
Yeah, and I would have to say, obviously, technology's out there because those CAPTCHA apps, at the end to verify you are who you are, that have numbers and have letters and stuff like that, are always encoded with that kaleidoscope.
Oh, yeah, I'm not a bot or something?
Yeah, the kaleidoscope of stuff to keep that. But, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. The algorithm, I saw an algorithm that NVIDIA has. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I'd have to search it to actually find out where it was, where it had people on a street and everybody had a number and a timeline. And it just tracked these people everywhere they went where there was cameras. It was pretty. Wow. It was pretty insane the what they got going on that. But
it is definitely crazy. Now Jack Dorsey and the social media. Obviously, Laura Luma was shut down, and now that veteran Jesse was shut down. It's getting out of control now. People are calling for all left-wing people to be shut down, and actually. No, nobody should be shut down unless you're calling to, for somebody to kill themselves or you're calling for violence, all that. But just, the answer to Laura Luma and everybody on our side being shut down is not to force Twitter to shut them down also. It is to stop shutting anybody down. So
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of that going on today.
I guess when you can't fight the facts, you hit them with censorship. I guess that's what it is. You know?
Yeah, I think those people are really just saying, if you're going to shut them down, then, how can, Louis Farrakhan and, Hamas has a page too. It's just ridiculous. I mean, whatever.
Al Jazeera. Yeah, all those people.
So I don't know what else you got there.
Let's see. We got the romaine lettuce. Don't eat that anymore.
Oh yeah, that was only from where? A certain part or something?
They said California, but they said in the winter months it moves, and so now they're talking about Yuma and Arizona.
Oh.
It's kind of weird. Keep it in perspective of what this is and why labeling is such an important part. When there's a super give me just one sec to explain this. So what's happening with this, and the reason why you can't boil it out and why they have these massive spinach recalls, is because this is actually extracted into the veins of the plant, and it becomes an internal part of it, much like when you were young. Remember, you used to have that the science experiment where you would have the carnation and you put it in food colored water, and the tips of the carnation would turn whatever color the food coloring was.
No, I cut out of that class.
Yeah. Yeah. Back behind the tennis court. Sure. I understand. Well, so basically what it is that when they use these Superfund sites, they use this stuff called night soil. 60 Minutes did a great piece on it.
God, they've been doing that forever.
Lightly processed human waste. Well, what happens when it gets too much part of human waste? The E. coli that is in human waste actually leaches up into the plants. So the problem that they're having, they said it's tainted water. Yeah, they're using night soil to fertilize and to water these plants. It's leaching up into the plants, but it's a cheap way to fertilize and to grow this stuff. So that's why they're saying if it's hydroponic, you should be fine. But if it's not, that's why. So
so it's actually internal now. And I apologize to anybody that was eating during watching our show. So yeah,
well, if you're
with that whole night soil thing,
yeah, well, just making sure it's not coming from that's why the Europeans never take our food, because our corn's grown in night soil. So we could do another show on that whole thing.
That's
if
gross.
You want to at some point in time, but yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk about also, there was this 3 days ago, there was this rumor put out that Roseanne had a heart attack, Roseanne Barr.
Oh yeah.
And Stranahan was doing a show, and somebody called his phone, and apparently the phone said Roseanne. So he took the call while he was live, and the guy said, "This is Roseanne's new assistant," and he claimed his name was Frank, and that she had a heart attack, and you had left her a message. And right at the end, it was hard to hear. Right at the end, he goes, "Yeah, you left her a message saying something about her underwear." So I threw up a red flag. I'm like, wait a second. This sounds like a prank, like those radio people that call in or whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, why would he say that? And Stranahan was smart to, cut the broadcast. Well, apparently he texted out something right after that, and people are giving him hell. I mean, they went off on him saying you're spreading fake news and stuff. In his fairness, he was just trying to clear the air about what that call was since it was on live. The only problem is, I personally, if I was Stranahan, I wouldn't have tweeted out anything till I got more information. Right. He kind of did jump out and say, don't know her condition, but apparently this guy. Then there was another woman who tweeted out breaking news. Roseanne's assistant, Frank, called in the Stranahan show, and she had a heart attack, prayers. And then a couple of other big accounts that I follow, I'm not going to say names, tweeted it. Very irresponsible. I'm sorry.
Right.
And then instead of apologizing, they erased it. But I had taken screenshots because one thing, I did a whole show on this, responsible journalism. I'm constantly saying, if you're going to put out a story, always say unconfirmed reports or alleged. It's so irresponsible.
Unsubstantiated. Yeah.
That word that I can't say or spell. So it's in a rush to be first. Constantly people are doing this, and then they're just like erase the tweet or be like, oh, sorry. No, you need to be more responsible than that.
Right.
I know people do that for clicks, likes, and views.
Right.
If you do something like that, you should at least come on and say, listen, that was really irresponsible of me, and retract the story and say, you know, you're sorry. Don't just erase the tweets and think nobody's seen it, and you don't have a responsibility to not apologize.
Right.
There were several accounts that I follow that did that, and I was not happy. I'm not going to put up the tweets. I said I would not post the screenshots. I have them all. Unless I see these people still acting irresponsible and not learning anything from what they did, I'll be glad to post them, like I said in my tweet. I don't look for trouble, but I'll be damned if I'm going to allow people to be irresponsible and not apologize, you know?
Not call them out. No, I totally understand. Absolutely.
You know, I'm not perfect. And if I put something out, which I try to always say, you know, allegedly, and I even go on other pages, I'm like, say allegedly, or, you know, come on, we have to be responsible here, you know.
Do your own due diligence. That's right.
Yeah. Do your own, don't just put it out because Roseanne had a heart attack, let me be the first to tweet it out.
Right.
That's so irresponsible. It's ridiculous.
Sometimes when you rush to be first, you end up last.
Boom. How about that? Take that one. Going into our next thing, what do you got, Rich?
Mia Love, obviously GOP. Mia Love concedes Utah race, blast Trump. No real relationship, just convenient transaction. We won't get into that whole thing, but she had a great quote, I think. It says, minority communities need to ask themselves a question also, at what cost? What is the cost of staying with the Democratic Party that perpetually delivers exactly what you need to stay exactly where you are, to make poverty tolerable instead of temporary? So, irregardless of what you think about her, the race, her and Trump's relationship, fantastic quote. Absolutely
yeah,
true.
That is.
I've always preached that about the inner cities and the fact that that's exactly what they're doing. And
maybe you can post that quote on Twitter, on Vantage Point USA on Twitter, and just a quote, put it out there.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll put obviously give her the credit for that, because I'm not smart enough to think about cool slogans.
So apparently
like
she's blaming President Trump for her loss because, you know, President Trump during the one what was it, news conference, I don't know if it was the same one where what's his name, Jim Acosta karate chopped the intern, but he was like, Mia showed me no love. And so,
you know, there's different ways to approach conservatism. Not always, no one's ever going to, but once again, let's go back to the basics. This is a team effort, people. You know, maybe she didn't adhere strictly to all the policies that he had, but still, I mean, as long as they can divide and conquer, that's where they, I mean, that was the one. That got them the 39th seat that they needed. So, yeah. Rocky says it's getting worse in big cities like New York. Yeah, where Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's where it's getting worse.
She's in trouble today for a tweet comparing the Caravan to the Holocaust and Jews that left. You know, she just needs to stop tweeting.
Yeah.
She really is not.
Yeah,
you know.
She's not that. Yeah, she's not. Belongs to the Democratic Socialist of America. I mean, that says it all. And how does somebody openly saying that get elected? I don't know. But you know what?
Well, in New York, in California, come on, it's like a badge of honor. I'm a socialist. They say, you know, I'm a democratic socialist. What's the damn difference?
No,
you know?
There really is not. So
it's like saying, you know, I'm a peaceful murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I quietly suffocate him. I don't stab him or anything.
Right. I'm a friendly murderer.
A friendly murderer. But yeah. Let's see. I think that's about all we had to cover here. Let's see here. Now a bunch of fluff.
Right.
That's about it. That's about it.
All right. Well, cool, man. Always appreciate you guys tuning in.
Oh, absolutely.
It's been a while since we came on. I had some friends come into town, and it was all my fault. Rich was like, every day, we going live? And I'm like, oh, man, I need to. But finally we got out here.
Yeah, that's why I decided to bust into Bob's house with the camera.
Yes.
Like, hey, dude,
yes.
You know that snazzy TV you got? Yeah, we're going to take a look at that. So,
absolutely. I think the people really enjoy your reviews, so you got to keep doing that.
Oh, good. I hope they do. I enjoy doing them. It's fun. You know, and as we're leaving Thanksgiving and we're heading into the Christmas season,
yes,
let's remember what it's about. Don't get caught up in the commercialism. Don't get caught up in the Cyber Monday and the Black Friday and all that stuff. You know, Don't force it. Don't put yourself over the edge trying to buy stuff you can't afford to appease people that will only transiently enjoy it. Just
absolutely.
Yeah. So looking forward going through Christmas. I'm sure there's going to be some great stories going on.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, that's about
also real quick. I said this last broadcast. Right now, a lot of people have a hard time in the holidays. They're alone. They don't have much family. Veterans struggle now, or people that just lost a loved one or went through a divorce. I'll say this again. My Twitter is Total News Network or Vantage Point USA. Hit me with a direct message. I keep checking them. Anybody that feels sad or alone, go ahead and reach out to me. I'll be glad to have a conversation with you. Nobody needs to be alone during the holidays, and my prayers, to all the people out there that are struggling. You'd be surprised how many people actually care. I remember not too long ago, there was that veteran that said he was going to kill himself. Yep. And man, I mean, thousands of people reached out. Unfortunately, Twitter shut his page down, but the love and support that was out there, hopefully that guy knows that now, that you're not alone. So reach out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And guys, thanks again for watching. As we always say, could have been anywhere. You're here. Yes. If you enjoyed what you saw, please hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you want to. As we go into Christmas, be the light in dark places. And we'll see you guys later.
Yes, yes. Subscribe on YouTube.
Yes.
I would like to begin with a poem in old-fashioned meter. Be good to us, and we will be good to you. Be good to us, and we will be good. I would like to begin with a poem in old-fashioned meter. Be good to us, and we will be good to you. Be good to us, and we will be good. Be good to us.